To go live now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show. Listen, we are so excited. We are live and we are on time. I am your host, Deshaun Antoinette Booker. We're going to wait till we get some viewers in here, Miss Jasmine. You're looking good. You're looking great. Everyone, welcome to the Yummy Cafe. We are so excited to have you with us today. We are excited that you are with us on this phenomenal, wonderful. What is this? Today is Wednesday. I call it Woke Wednesday or Winning Wednesday, right?
Yes,
So we are so excited today. Jasmine, I'm so excited to have you. I keep saying the word excited because I am. I just want to make
excited to
certain
be
that all
here.
is well here. So, listen, thank you for being here. Before we get started, I just want to say that, you know what, I find that working alongside women who are powerful women is the most empowering thing that we can do for each other, right? That we allow ourselves to connect to like-minded women and that we allow ourselves to really show up for one another at all times. So I'm so excited that we are doing that today. So, without any further ado, I am Miss Deshawn Antoinette Booker, your maximizing coach, and I am the founder and CEO of Maximizing Your Magnificence. And so, what I do is simply take a stand for powerhouse women in leveraging their three eyes, being intentional, living and working from a place of integrity so that they can manifest increase in their life and in their business in a maximized way. I call it maxed out. And
Mm.
I also am the creator of the Magnificence Formula. And that formula is designed to help women reach their highest potential while they are creating a successful lifestyle of fulfillment and magnificence. And we do that through a series of optimized and elevated coaching styles, techniques, programs, systems, and coaching packaging. So I'm so excited about the Magnificence Formula. I'm so excited about my call to actually work with women and so that they can reach their highest potential and serve the world as they have been called to do. And so we are here today for the Yummy Cafe, which is one of my signature live events. So let me give some backdrop about the Yummy Cafe before we go any further with our awesome guest today. The Yummy Cafe is my signature online event. And what it is a show that, I wanted to create a space. I wanted to have a space where women can come together and actually talk about their awesome businesses. I wanted to celebrate women entrepreneurs. How did they give birth to their amazing businesses? And I'm really that girl that likes to know the details. So I really wanted to know, well, how did they go from an idea to actually an investment? Right? How did that become a successful business for them? How did they do that? And then I want to go just a little bit more deeper because I'm that girl that love details. Well, you can probably say I'm a little inquisitive. Some might say nosy. I wanted to know, how did women entrepreneurs stay on their path? Right? How did they stay on their path, which is a path that isn't always easily to follow, easy to follow. So how did they stay on that path to becoming an entrepreneur? And so I got to say, I want to pull women entrepreneurs together to have that candid conversation. Let's have that candid conversation. Let's talk about what that looks like. So, everything now is, before COVID. So before COVID, I was actually introducing the Yummy Cafe as a boutique event of mine. And I was having tours in the Los Angeles area where I will have I will host about 20 to 25 women at different small locations. And those women were entrepreneurs. And they will come together and actually just share how they arrived to their businesses. What were some of their highs, their lows, what were their valleys? How did they really create this business that was from their heart? And so as we came together, well, we're going to come together, right, at these nice boutique, locations, we would actually be tasting some of their products, programs, services. And so that is the Yummy Cafe. YUM-ME. Your unlimited magnificence equals you and me. Well, we know what happened, right? Pandemic hit, and I had to do as everyone else, pivot. So I
Mhm.
said, well, why don't I take what I was doing in person and let's have it as a live show where I bring the different phenomenal entrepreneur women together to really tell their story, to share their journey to their amazing business. And so that is where we are today. And I am so excited that we are launching the Yummy Cafe, your unlimited magnificence, you and me together. So that is why we're here today, and I'm so excited about that. And I'm excited for our first phenomenal guest, Miss Jasmine Payton Gant. You know what, Jasmine? You are a phenomenal woman. I'm getting ready to read this bio, honey. Okay, this bio is going to make some of us question, well, am I doing enough? Because when I read this, Jasmine, I'm telling you, when I read her bio, I was like, well, wait a second. I started looking around the room saying, I need to go do something else. I need to go do more. But that's exactly the woman that I want at the table. So, Jasmine, welcome. How are you today before I get
I'm
into
doing
that?
just
How are
fine.
you?
Doing just fine, Ms. Deshawn. Thank you for having me here on your premiere show. It's an absolute pleasure.
Oh, I'm excited to have you and thank you for being here with us today. And we're so excited to see you and to have you. And I'm just ready to just get this going because you know what? It really is all about content and pouring into others, right? How can we
Mhm.
pour into those that are seeking to accomplish what someone else has accomplished? It may seem easy, right? We always look at the person's, ending. We look at where they are, but we don't always know their beginning. And I know that there's always a genesis to everything. So I'm going to read Miss Jasmine's bio. Jasmine Payton Gant
Pat, Patton.
grew up in a multi generational Patton, yeah. Jasmine Patton Gant grew up in a multi generational organic eating family in the inner city of Los Angeles, where they kept chickens and ducks, and seasonally their garden would overflow. Due to unusual food sensitivities, the family had to scrutinize the ingredients in everything. This knowledge of ingredients compelled Jasmine to create her own products. Jasmine attended Mount St. Mary's University and graduated from Mount Sierra College with a background in biochemistry and information technology. This is where I said, she's smart. Check this out. I love it. After graduation, she began the development of Imagine aromatherapy, known as Aroma Stories. She apprenticed with a Mayan medicine man, harvesting and distilling long lost essentials oils indigenous to the California coast and desert. Wow. She began to create multiple brands and products. This led to the building of brands and other products as well for others. Mrs. Gant's ability to create and prototype led to high regard of intellectual property. She owns 4 trademarks and over 100 domain names. She operates 6 active websites, of which aromastories.com is the most popular. Recognizing that networking and shared resources are essential, her creative investment in other businesses is ever expanding. She encourages families to discover what hidden brands rest within their subculture and traditions. And this
Mhm.
is just a snippet of her bio. Jasmine, when do you find time to sleep? She's also a wife, a beautiful mother. She's always hiking and getting her exercise in and serving others. How do you do all of that with all of this on this bio? How do you make it happen? Just tell me, what does a day look like in the day in life of Jasmine?
Well, sometimes, like for example, I cook dinner twice. So I use a hot pot, right? So I'll get my meal in, and then while we're eating, I've already loaded the hot pot for the next day. And that way the family can be on their own, if you will. Like mommy's busy, dinner's in the fridge. That's
Yeah,
my biggest responsibility around the house is preparing meals and keeping the restrooms and the kitchen clean, the communal areas. So that's how I do it. Sometimes I cook dinner twice. Meal prep is huge. So, and I pull my
I
son
like
in as
that.
much as
I
I
like
can.
that.
I pull my son into my hiking.
Wow.
We play video games together. Um, I just pull him in. I pull him into my manufacturing. I pull him into my label designing. I'll give him when we go travel, I give
Really?
him the camera. I try to give him big responsibilities so that he really
Yeah.
feels like he's a part
Yeah.
of it, and he knows I highly value his opinion. So yeah, you have to work it out some kind of way. You
Well,
got to work it in.
yeah. Yeah. Jasmine, how old is your son?
He's 11. He's 11. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I didn't hear you say it again.
He's
How old is your
11.
son?
He's
And so
11 years old.
at 11 years old, he's okay with being able to manage all those different tasks that you assign to him.
He appreciates having responsibility and being valued.
Oh,
So often we're all busy and our kids are just doing their own thing. But I pull him in, I'll pay him, you
nice.
know, and he,
Nice.
he wants to spend money on Fortnite and whatnot. You can
Yes,
earn money with mommy. You
that's
can you can
right.
do packaging, you can do shrink wrapping, you
Mhm.
can count this for me, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So I
Wow. Wow. I love that. Creating that generational wealth, right?
letting him know that he can do it. He can do it
Yes.
too. He sees
Yes.
mommy doing it, and opportunities are coming up in his generation, that weren't here with mine. And I'm learning too from what he's showing me. He's showing interest, and we try to nurture them, and we try to keep whatever he's doing out in the forefront so we know what he's doing. The kids are talking on their
Yes.
their headsets to people. I'm like, no, your setup is right in the living room so that when I'm watching TV or
Yes.
I'm manufacturing in the kitchen, I can, if there's something that a conversation going on that I don't like, I'm very verbal about it. You explain to me now what's going on, young man, because I don't like what I'm hearing. And so he has to
That's
explain to
right.
me the
That's
conversation,
right.
whether it was just
Yes.
a joke,
Yes.
or maybe it is inappropriate. Maybe he's in an emotional place where he needs to put that down. He needs to step away. And I make sure that happens.
Wow.
So,
Love that. I love that. I love that, Jasmine. I'm hearing that you're saying accountability, right? You're teaching him accountability, and it isn't too young to learn that. How is a person going to understand accountability unless there are opportunities to teach that character, right? To teach
mhm,
that trait. And I love that I'm hearing you say that at such that great age of 11 years old, and also teaching him how to manage, right, his priorities. If he wants to
mhm,
purchase something, he wants to buy something, and you're giving him those skills in budgeting, in
mhm,
saving, and prioritizing. And so you're teaching him at that age where you're instilling in him what it really means to be accountable, what it really means to be a young adult when that comes for him, when it happens. And I think that's superb. My hat is off to you. And then you're running your business. So we're going to get into all of that, and you're managing your household. So listen, congratulations, and I honor you in all of that. So, okay, Jasmine, my first question is to you. And what I do here in the Yummy Cafe, so that we have a candid conversation for our listeners, because I really want the listeners to have takeaways to be able to pull away what we are talking about, right? And then they can go and manifest that into their lives. And then they're being magnificent in every way of their existence. So, our first question that I'm going to ask that gets us going, that I always love to ask, entrepreneurs, is when did you know you wanted to actually take on becoming a woman in business for herself? And I call this the inception moment, right? When did you know that it was your time to stand in that purpose of your business idea? What did that look like for you? If you can share that, I also call it the dream baby. So, when was that for you, Jasmine, your inception moment?
Yeah, when you ask questions, sometimes they're layered, sometimes they're deeper than the answer that we wish to give. Because I can remember being a little girl and my father taking my mother to pass these boards, to do these art registered nursing boards, and they're in this famous building in downtown LA, these three pillars. And I could remember asking my dad about how much money my mom was going to make every year, and thinking, well, who's paying her that money? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
wanting to have the business that can afford to pay people a starting salary of $60,000 a year. And I was a child and I had that deep urge. I was also a child and I was uh, making paintings and art and selling them to anyone who would buy them. Just a need in me, I suppose, to create. And I knew that what I made with my own hands had value, and the value that I could put on it was really what I decided. You know. Um, but very clearly, when it comes to Aroma Stories, I was in high school and I was walking to the bookstore. I went to middle college high school on the campus of LA Southwest. So we were walking to the bookstore for snacks. And I can remember having this vision, like out of nowhere. And there was this photo shoot and the colors were blue and white. And we were holding this product, and I was like, what is this? What is this that I'm seeing before me on my casual stroll to the bookstore for snacks, And ever since that moment, I made a decision to go into the beauty aroma industry from that moment, and that's where I find myself. It was intentional,
And,
based upon
no, and
lips.
and so, no, that's great. So let's take it back a few steps, right? And you're right, questions are always layered. So I hear that you said, okay, well, Deshaun, it really started, the seed was was planted in me when I, as a child, watching my mother and wanting to know, who pays the person for this service, right? And where does that, what we call money, come from, that exchange,
Mhm,
right? How
mhm,
does that bartering, system, create itself? So I hear that you really always were looking at the back end of things. Am I right?
mhm.
Is that what you were doing
Absolutely.
first, looking at how does this work? Yeah. And how does
Mhm,
this system work for me? And so then, when you said you were on the campus of, the college, and I used to teach at the college, I certainly know about the high school. I taught at Southwest College for years. And so when you saw that in a visual, what happened to you in your belly or in your heart? What were you drawn to visually when you saw it? Because you said you saw that you all were there.
mhm.
What were you drawn to?
Well, I wanted to find a way to meet that place. And so I started with something simple. I started with bath salts, and a friend of mine, we'd go out to Venice Beach because we used to make jewelry. And we'd go out to Venice Beach and the Rastafarians would give us a little piece of space, we'd sell our jewelry. So I started selling bath salts, and I went from using the synthetic fragrances, finding that they irritated me, and just digging in, leaning into the vision, going deeper, saying, okay, essential oils, Almond extract. People used to smell my bathing salts and lose it because they were overwhelming. My mother was taking some classes when I was I guess I was in high school, and her peers had found out about my bath salts, and so I would go and sell to them, like in the evening. She'd be, "Oh, my daughter's coming up here," and I clean up. So I just leaned into it. You go from bath salts to soap to body butter. You're looking at recipes. You're going to the library. I checked out every single book on soap from the library. And then once you have every single book,
That's
you're
right.
looking for the through line. What do these books have in common? How do I
Yes.
truly make soap? You know, and then making it your own. So I leaned into the vision,
Yeah.
and I kept it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
even
love that. Lean in. I say that all the time. Go ahead. Go
mhm.
ahead.
Yeah, even through college. In college you're studying, you're doing books, you're
Mhm.
not necessarily working on your aromatherapy business. But whenever I had the opportunity to have a mock business or a mock company, I would use my business name. It never went anywhere. It just was temporarily displaced. Now I got to imagine even greater things for my business, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. I love it. I'm hearing the word expansion. I'm hearing the word global from you. So now let's take it back to your bio. I always like to do what I call a bio connector. So in your bio, you talked about, it says in your family grew up, right? And you had your own chickens and ducks right in the
Mhm,
heart of Los Angeles. And there would be
mhm,
times when, you all had your own garden. Was
mhm.
that also for you a moment where you began to question or think about or just entertain, how can I be self-sufficient, how can I continue to do what we're doing
Yeah,
here in our family? Did that have anything as
definitely.
well to do with? Talk to me
Definitely.
about that.
And it's interesting that you put it that way, self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency was always huge for me. But the way I acted it out as a child was very, I don't know, apocalyptic, end of the worldish. I'd have my Barbie dolls, and we'd be in the
Ooh.
backyard, and I would create a river with the water hose, and my grandmother would graciously let me use the water because that's a big bill in the household. And I learned about these
Yes.
Native Americans and how they would build their homes in the earth. So I would build their home, these mound earth
Mm,
homes, and it was always about, okay, we have to go eating, we have to go hunting, we have to go gathering, we have to prepare, we have to store for the winter. So I lived in like this
yes.
tiny world of how can I say, when you long for the forest, when you long for the jungle
Mm,
and the deep dark green of earth that exists, and the deep dark blue of the ocean, you have to go micro. And so I went micro by going
yes.
into my grandmother's garden,
Mm,
and there, Barbie
mhm.
sized, fairy sized, I could be in the deep dark jungle. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
I could
Yes.
feed myself that need. Yeah.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yes. You know what? I always say this, that, success is the ability to create and to create again and to create again and again. That's the level of success that we all want. And you had that as a young girl, that imagination, right? To create in
Mhm.
your imagination and then actually to see it in your reality. And that's a principle. So you were truly operating on principle that was already established in your home, right? Self-sufficiency. And then you took that into your playtime,
Yes.
your imaginative, your imaginative playtime. How exciting and really remarkable is that? Because oftentimes that's how businesses are even created. They're created because we imagine them. We
Yes.
pretend that we see it, right? And then
Mm.
later on, we connect the dots through our education, right? Through our skill set, through, trainings, through mentors, and, through through coaching, we create our, imaginative, concepts, but we also highlight them and we polish them through all of those, trainings and external powers that we give ourselves. And I see that that's what you did. So in your inception moment, although there were some steps to them, you knew in your soul, in your belly, that that's what you were to do. Now I got to ask this question: did mom and dad ever say to you, or put that in your ear about being an entrepreneur, or working for yourself, or going into business?
Um, my dad worked for himself. He was a draftsman. So he was always networking with engineers and selling his plans. My mother was the breadwinner in our home. Um, she would have much rather preferred. There was a time when I wanted to go into fashion design because I absolutely love clothing. And that has also manifested itself. Like I've sewn wedding dresses for friends, wedding dresses for myself, the whole bridesmaids outfits. I love that kind of stuff. But my mother really, she would have preferred if I went into law or medicine. And I get it because of the stability. I get it. And I appreciate
Yeah.
that because you also have to have that in your ear saying, well, there are sure things. You just take this path and it truly is easier.
Yes.
And there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. It is easier. But there's something in me
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's always been there. And
Hmm.
I chose a different
Yeah.
path. Um, but I'm
Yes.
so
Yes.
enjoying myself. I have so enjoyed myself because of the
Mm.
experiences I've had along the way, the people that I've met, the knowledge that I've gained. I mean, it's a kind of like I've gotten to sit with the infinite, on multiple occasions, to
Mm.
feel that peace in space and time, that cocooning like
Yes. Yes.
sensation, and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
it's not to say that I could not have experienced that in the world of law or medicine. It's not to say that, but I simply live somewhere else.
Mm. Say that, Jasmine. Yes, you live somewhere else in the fulfillment, right, of your joy and your peace and your soul purpose. I love that. I love that. Oh, I love that. And when you talk about it, I mean, you just exude what you do. You exude aroma stories. Did you know that? Did you know that you exude that? You do. And I love that because that's how we let our light shine. And what happens when our light is shining, we are bringing what people towards us, and they want to know, what's that light? How did you get it? And
Mhm,
then they want to, sit at your feet and say, give me more. And that's exactly why we're here today, so that women entrepreneurs can take away just a piece from this table, right, of what you have to offer, which is delightful, which is this dish of savory success tips. So, okay, we're on our move here. Our next movement question is, what was your hurdle moment? Or you may have had a few of them. So,
mhm,
listen, I know I've had them, and I'll stop right here and I'll be the first to say, I love being an entrepreneur. I love being an entrepreneur for many amazing reasons, right? I mean, there's freedom in your scheduling, there's freedom in actually saying who and how I want to serve, right? I get to design the internal workings of my business. I get to be flexible when I want. I can shift gears when I feel like my need has outgrown that past need. I mean, there are so many remarkable rewards to having your own business and designing that for yourself. And then of course it's all about serving others and serving from your mission. But
mhm,
honey, I have had some valleys, I have had some dark hours, and I have said, this is not for me. One of them being the money doesn't always what come as we desire, right? If we're, making that momentum and it's there, then we hit what? We hit a pandemic. Oh, right. How many of us were truly, truly trying to, jump over that hurdle? Okay. So many businesses closed because of the pandemic. We've had recessions and just things are not, financially, rewarding in our, economic society. And so business owners are affected by that. I know what that's like, right?
Mhm.
And so even beside that, other things happen. You don't feel like you mount up to what others are saying or doing. You're comparing yourselves to others, and we shouldn't do that. Your mindset isn't really an abundant mindset. So that's a hurdle that we have to overcome. There's so many, and I have been there. So I always want to tap into successful women as yourself, and I want to know what were some of your hurdle moments and how did you jump over them and overcome them?
Yeah, when I was early in my aroma stories, aromatherapy business, I was just out of college, and I had the opportunity to sit with a guru, Mr. Wisdom. He sold wheatgrass on Slauson, just west of Crenshaw, and he has moved. He's gone back home to Jamaica. Um, he taught Krishna consciousness, which was beautiful. I am religiously fluid. I love um, customs, traditions, dances, exotic spices, and food. Somebody has a show to put on, I am there for it. I don't care. What God are we worshiping here?
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but in all of in all of this beauty, I met a young man, a very handsome young man, and
Mm,
there were some things that I grew up with. I grew up with a mother who was a breadwinner and a father who my father is far from a deadbeat, but he's simply from another time. That's how I like to put it. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
was comfortable with the idea of being the breadwinner. So I was attracting men who were parasitic
Mm,
and who were
yeah.
going through their own emotional struggles. It took me getting rid of that man, having the same lesson come in, this time worse, this time emotionally and physically abusive. Getting rid of that, to get rid of that man, I cut off all my hair. It was like a
Wow.
spiritual
Wow.
sacrifice that I had to make. I had to make this,
Yes,
this,
yes. See,
I had to come to that. It came to that. And then the next man came, and this man came with money. He came with homes,
mm,
cars, but he also had this trait that was domineering, it was suppressive, it was not healthy for my spirit. But I learned very quickly and thoroughly in a moment. You have these epiphanies. You can have an epiphany in a moment and then everything changes. And I had to understand that, wait, I don't like this. Why is this in my space? I'm letting this in my
mm,
space. Why am I entertaining this?
mm-hmm.
So I learned
Yes.
to cut, you just cut it off. You don't have to explain. You don't have to give some kind of satisfying reason to appease someone who does not
Yes.
belong in your space. That
Yes.
need that sometimes we have to be accepted. No, you have to know what you feel like and know when it's
Yes.
not right, when that feeling's not right. And
That's
that
right.
has evolved.
Mm,
I have now absolutely beautiful, supportive husband. We are an incredible team. It has not been easy. I've had therapy. We've had therapy together multiple times. I mean, I maxed out the therapy that I could get in my insurance. So it's something that you have to work on, but you have to find someone
Yes.
who's worth working on it with. Find someone whose qualities where you say, okay, I like your qualities. We can build together. Oh, I see you have some emotional issues. Oh,
Yes.
you're hurting me, baby. Let's go to therapy. That's completely different
Yes. Yes.
from
Yes. Yes.
the people who
Yes.
have
Yes.
these predatorial. There are people out there who have predatorial instincts and predatorial desires. And when you see
That's right.
that, when you
That's right.
feel it, it cannot be. You cannot have that in your space, especially you have
Yeah.
children, you got a business, you have a home, you got finances, you got people out there that will eat you. So,
Right. Yeah. So Jasmine, this is good stuff. Yummy. So if I'm hearing you, you are saying that some of your hurdles were your relationships, these toxic
mhm,
relationships that you had to do a
mhm,
detoxing. You had to do a
mhm,
purging so that you can see your
mhm,
vision better, so that you can begin
mhm,
to execute what you knew you were supposed to do. And
mhm,
I'm so glad you shared this in this platform because we're being candid, right? Because I have
mhm,
so many clients that when they come to me, we're doing the deleting, the detoxing so that we can arrive to the deliverance. Because
mhm,
women, if we do not look at the junk in our trunk, if we do not
mhm,
look at the trash can that's full of garbage that we need to get rid of, we cannot see how to move forward in our purpose. And
mhm,
so those are hurdles. And I love it that you have just said how you had to make a decision. So, in
mhm,
that, let's just jump right in because I want to get to all of these. That was great. So, if we're talking about that was your hurdle, then when was your worthy moment? When did you know that, you know what? My life is worthy of my purpose. My life goals are worthy of me manifesting them. When did you know you could no longer compromise that?
mhm. This is also layered because this doesn't stop. Our self-worth only increases. you know um Even most recently I have decided and that's what it takes, making that decision on the inside and
Yeah.
wholly, to where you want to feel different, you want things to be different. So I'm hiking every day, every single day. Like, because of our time, because this event
Yes.
here is during my hiking time, I went hiking earlier. No excuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
it in because I need to feel a certain way on
Hmm.
the inside. I need I have this internal ocean. We all have them. And things happen. Like, even with my husband, he's going through something. He might be upset at me about something. Maybe something important, maybe something not. I don't know. But I go, hey, he's whatever it is he said to me, I notice that he's trying to affect my internal ocean.
Mm.
No,
Mm.
no, I manage my own internal oceans, but I
Mm.
hear that you're having a hard time, babe. Are you all right?
Yes.
So my husband at this point in our lives is the breadwinner. My business pays for itself. It pays for treats that I like to treat us to, the family, occasionally and surprisingly. It pays for expansion and development of other businesses.
Mm. Nice.
I have uh, decided that my business will pay for
Yes.
all of us.
Mm.
It will pay for, because it can. It's shown me what it can do through the revenue, through my website, through my
Yeah.
customers calling, through my representatives, through my distributor. And so it's like, okay, Jazz, you've got some tweaking to do. You know, you've just
Yes.
got some tweaking to do.
Yes.
And you can pull it in. It wants to come in. How about that?
How about that? How about that?
Right.
Yes.
So the worthiness, it it's interesting because my medicine man, uh, we would do these things. We would go into the Anza Desert. We would ask for permission from mother
Mm,
to collect these herbs.
mhm.
We would bring them back to his home, and he had this huge distiller, huge. I mean, I couldn't even put my arms around it, in his home. And he would unpack these huge military backpacks, canvas
Yes.
military backpacks, and pack it into the steamer, into the distiller. You put the lid on it, and then it what it did was it would boil and it would make steam, and the vapor would cool in this glass. There's a word for it, like a
Mm,
condenser, and then it would drip into a cylinder that would collect the flower water and the essential oil on the top. So
yes.
while this process was happening, we would be in the bathroom, and the bathroom was lined with this heavy duty plastic, and the excess steam he channeled, funneled back to the bathroom. And so it
Mm,
was a steam room, and
nice.
we'd sit
Nice.
in there and meditate
Yes.
and rub essential oils on our bodies and just like get into deep breathing and just really be a channel for earth and heaven.
Yes. Yes.
And he told me, he said, you have to understand that
Mm,
your lesson here is your self worth and that you are worthy.
mm.
And
Wow.
yeah, that I find that sense of self-worth is constantly building. Every
Yes.
day it's growing. It's something you have to water, and it's
Yes.
something that you have to know
Mm,
through and
mm,
through,
mm, mm, mm.
and it feels good.
Mm. Jasmine, I am over here getting ready to just jump out of my seat. This is so yummy. I hope that everyone has their cup and their salsa and they are getting this savory dish that she is giving to us tonight. This is so good, so juicy, and so valuable. We got to get going because we don't have much time. Listen, I love that story. My goodness. Yes. You know what? You said something as you were beginning to answer that question. You talked about making a decision. When we make that decision, it's
Mhm,
non negotiable.
mhm,
So I love that. Let's go to the next segment here, the next movement, as I call them. Jasmine, tonight we're talking about your theme was dream, spirit, action.
mhm.
These are her three journey words. So go ahead and just let us know, right? What do these mean to you? Dream, spirit, action as your journey words as an entrepreneur.
I think that this experience that we're all having on earth is incredible, is supernatural, is phenomenal. There aren't enough words to describe the situation that we all find ourselves in.
Yeah.
Through our dreams, we have this incredible opportunity to travel, to have relationships, to meet people and creatures and just and fly and swim. And I mean, it's really incredible. Our dreams are tools. You can talk to yourself before you go to bed. There's this thing, it's called neuro linguistic programming.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
say,
yes,
you
yes,
talk to yourself,
yes.
something that you want, you say it three
Hmm.
different ways, three times each, three different ways.
Yes.
Really talk to yourself. Ask for guidance. Talk about vision boards and whatnot. All
Mhm.
that stuff is real. You're talking to your subconscious, you know? So through your dreams, ask for help. Ask to speak to your ancestors. Ask for guidance. Ask for spirit.
Yes.
And so from the dreams into the spirit, and the spirit is a kind of knowing because the spirit is here all the time. Is not like even this reality is inside of spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the spirit is the pathways of connection to everything, to each other,
Mm.
to the past, to the present, to the future. It's just this great mirth, right? So dreams, through dreams, we can communicate with spirit. You
Right.
can communicate with spirit. You don't even have to be asleep. You can be awake. You can have visions. You
Right.
just have to go there in your mind.
Mm.
It's a kind of letting go. It's a
Yes.
kind of a divine,
Mm.
eternal, intimate divine that is ever present. And it's a frequency, and you can feel it. You
Ooh,
can
yes.
be there,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So healing, so
Yes.
very healing. And so, through this knowing, through asking for and receiving and knowing, you can have the encouragement and the enthusiasm
Mm.
to
Say
take
it.
action,
Yes.
to develop whatever it is that you could dream of,
Mm.
whatever gift that you've been given, maybe while you were asleep, maybe while you were awake. I mean, I know I'm not the only one having an incredible experience in my dreams.
You're not right. Me too.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So, as that information, that divine information passes through you, you're
Mm.
supposed to do something with it.
Yes.
Get your journal out, get your dream journal down. Start
Yes.
communicating with your higher selves. Start
Yes.
communicating with
Yes.
spirit.
Ooh.
So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
okay. It's
Yes.
okay. It's a good thing. It's supposed
Yes.
to happen.
Yes. Give ourselves permission, right? Giving
Hmm.
ourselves permission. You are a girl after my own heart. Woo! Listen, where is the book and can we go buy it today? Because you just dropped so many diamonds for our destiny. You gave us so many pearls of wisdom. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it just resonates, in my spirit. And it's so true. I mean, it's so powerful what you're saying. I love how you just told that story and related them into one to the other. And listen, I also need to go back. I love the internal ocean. I am
Yeah.
never letting anyone interrupt my internal
Hmm.
ocean again.
Hmm.
But I love
Hmm.
this dream spirit in action, right? So let us see some of your product. Show
Oh,
us what we got and tell us what it is. And let's just see what the people can purchase.
this is Wake Up Your Face oil. It is back. A lot of people have asked for it. I made this when I was going camping with my family,
Mhm.
and it is avocado oil, lemongrass, clove. And I made this because I wanted something that was going to keep the insects away. I
Yeah,
wanted something that was going to nourish me while I was camping. I needed
yeah.
luxury while I was camping. I needed
That's
only the
right.
best,
That's
just a little bit of luxury for me.
right.
And so that's why I made that.
Okay.
And people love it because they put it on and they go gardening. And they're like,
Yes.
those bugs don't bother me, you know? And
I
it's
love it.
back. I put it in my hair, so it's back.
Okay. Good,
So
good, good.
um,
What's
this
next?
is
What's next?
this is Away spray. Away spray is a linen spray and a bug deterrent, insect deterrent. This is another one of those things that you spray when you're going out, when you're outside. Even in your house, like if you left the door open for too long, mosquito
Yes,
season coming back. And
yes.
I'm one of the how can I don't like to say that I get bit, but I get bit. I don't like to
Okay.
admit it. I don't want to own that.
They
But
probably listen, but that's a part of your creating in your business, right? They're like, if
right.
I go to her, she's going to create something with some type of way. Let's kind of just, motivate her. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So this has mugwort in it.
Okay.
So it's a linen spray and it's an insect deterrent.
Nice.
Mugwort. I first heard about mugwort. I think I was like 12 years old, and I heard if you put it underneath your pillow, it will help you have lucid dreams.
Oh,
So yeah, I fell in love with mugwort then, but I also found that it was a mosquito deterrent.
Okay. All
So
right.
mugwort extract is in here.
Okay.
Vetiver is in here. Vetiver is this old world, deep uh, root plant.
Mm.
And in the old world, when they would have the air conditioners, the water that would run
Roll
through
down.
the
Yes.
walls,
Yes.
right? So that would get musty and muggy and mildewy.
Yes. Yes.
They would just take the vetiver plant, the whole plant, root and all, and put it in the waterway, and it would clear it up.
Oh,
It would
okay.
just clean it up. It's also considered so calming that it's considered an antipsychotic. And that's
Oh,
major. Like, when have you ever heard of an essential oil being considered an antipsychotic?
right. I haven't. I don't know.
Right. But the baritone is so deep. There's nothing deeper than vetiver. I don't know if
Mm.
you're familiar with patchouli. Patchouli is very
Yes. Yes. That's
masculine,
my favorite. Yes, I
very
love
dark,
chili.
very deep.
Yes.
Vetiver is deeper.
Ooh, I love how you did your voice. Okay.
I
Okay.
would
Okay.
love, I would love to be introduced to a deeper plant, deeper
Yeah.
essential oil than
Yeah.
vetiver.
Okay.
So this is incredible, and it has clove in it.
I like
Clove,
clothes.
that's a
Yes.
whole nother story.
Yeah.
But I was able to find out through a friend coming to me asking for a solution. I was able to
Mm.
find out that clove um, is an incredible insect deterrent.
Okay.
So I will research, I will read all the papers published, not just by America, but abroad.
Yes.
I will read all the forums looking for, it might
Yes.
take me years, it might
Yes.
take me days to
Right.
find the solution, to find something that works.
I like hearing that. 90% of what we do is preparation. Okay.
Mhm,
Anything
mhm.
else you got over there? Do you have my favorites? You know, I love my. Okay. Go
I
ahead,
didn't bring
Molly.
the lavender. I know how
Oh,
much you love lavender. This is our new packaging. I've pledged to get rid of the plastic. Well, I've pledged to get rid of most of the plastic. So this is
okay.
a stainless steel. This is 4 ounces. This is
And
extra virgin olive oil, shea butter, beeswax with patchouli and
mm,
musk body butter. We've got new labels.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one more thing. This is
Yes.
armpit detox. Armpit detox is an all natural deodorant. It is
Nice.
based in with witch hazel, zinc, Epsom salt, and silk and seaweed. And it's
Wow.
incredible. It's incredible how it works. And it's a roll on. This is my own personal one from
Okay.
upstairs. It's
Nice.
a roll on. It's just it works. I know so often our kids get to that age where they're funky. And
Yes.
you don't want to put them, you don't want to just like give them the deodorant because you know it's not good for them.
Right. Right.
So this is a way to give them something that'll do the job and you
Okay.
don't feel bad about it.
Right.
And I use it. I
I
use it
love
just
it.
fine,
I love
and
it. I
it works
love
just
it.
fine. So I'm really impressed by that product.
I love this. So, Jasmine, you know that I am one of your biggest fans. She know this, everyone. I'm always fanning out over her, and I just love your product. A couple of weeks ago, she sent me a little special in the mail, and I just lit up. I couldn't even, catch my breath. I was so excited. And so the other day, I was having a meltdown. And in the middle of my meltdown, I was like, "Go get your spray, your lavender, body spray." And I sprayed everywhere. I sprayed that over me, and I was namasteing and recentering, and my chakras were in place and balancing. And I just want to thank you. I keep my shave cream butters that in the refrigerator. It says I
Yeah.
don't want them anything to happen to them. I have the lavender and the tropical. What is it?
Tropical
Tropical.
exotic summer. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I just love, love, love your products. They are so soothing. They work and they're beautiful. They make you feel like you're in the spa and they just make you feel like luxe and luxury all the time. So tell the people where they can find you, your website, your social media, and all those good stuff. I'm going to also write them here for them to see it. So let
Thank
them
you.
know. You're welcome.
Aromastories.com.
Mhm.
AROMASTORIES.com. And it's okay if you spell it with a YS, you'll still get to the same place. I have free shipping Right now, because of coronavirus, we are 25% off as long as you spend over $20. I don't know how long that sale's going to go on for, but folks need that discount right now.
Yes.
And I need
Yeah.
folks to continue spending with me too. So I'm willing to meet you. I'm willing to meet you halfway. People also call me. They call me and say, Jazz,
Mhm.
I like the patchouli myself, but this is my budget. We can work it out. I
Yes.
am Aroma Stories on Instagram, and I'm Aroma Stories 1 on Facebook.
And do you have any specials going right now or anything? If they're watching this show, can they, type in that they saw you on the show, and or do you give any, I'm just giving some,
Yes, yes, of course, of course. You know, like I said, we're 25% off as long as you spend over $20. But if you let me know, if you put in the notes or email, you let me know, Yummy, YUMME,
That's
I'll
right.
put a little something extra, certainly.
Yes, good, good. And so, how long have you been in business before we get to our closing?
I started uh, I started as an entrepreneur. Um, Geez, I mean, even when I was a kid, I was like selling cakes to people door to door. I was making these little packages and filling them with like baseball cards and like toys. I remember one of my peers came to me. I was like 11, 12 years old. He was like, "Hey, you sold my grandfather used products." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "You sold him toys that had already been played with." I was like, "I didn't say they were new. I just packaged them nicely." I packaged them real nicely so they looked like it'd never been opened before,
No way,
So,
Jasmine.
I mean, but they were cool little toys. I mean, I was selling them. I was selling them all around the apartment complex in Paris, California from 92 to 95. So I used to sell in summer school at Crenshaw, no, at Dorsey. I
Yeah.
made these little hair sticks, it was like little oriental hair sticks, and I'd like put marbles on the end and wire
Hmm.
wrap them, and I'd sell a set for $10.
I know that's right.
This is, I've never not been side hustling, if you will. I've never not been an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I
In
mean,
spirit, that was your spirit. You have the entrepreneurial spirit.
yeah.
And sometimes there are those of us who are literally bitten by the blood bug, right? And we
Hmm.
cannot run from it. It's in
Right,
our DNA. It's
right,
in our DNA. And
right.
so that was, what I'm hearing from you, such an awesome story. So the last thing before we go is, what were your pillars of strength? And when I say this, right, what I'm asking is, you've given so much awesome, awesome value today for our listeners, our viewers to take away, to start building their infrastructure. Okay. They can take what you've said. I mean, you've given so many takeaways. I hope that they were writing copious notes. I was. And with that comes, your pillars of strength. And you even said the word pillar early at the top of the show.
Mm.
What are, or your pillars, or what do you live by? What's your rule that you live by? What gets you up and going so that you are bouncing back from all of the breakdowns that tend to come our way?
This was a tough question because it kept revolving. At first I thought it was family, but I said to myself, what I realized
Mm.
is that I am in grace and mercy. I'm big on grace and mercy, and being appreciative and being thankful. I have a family now. There are my family. We are on a journey. It will change. And
Yeah.
when that changes,
Mm.
what will be my pillar then?
Mm.
And so I really had to push through that because I have this incredible relationship with my grandmother, my dad's mom. And where she is at another part in her life. And what I have learned sitting with her and talking with her as she acknowledges this transcendence that is
Yes.
happening, I've
Yes.
gotten to sit in the cycle. We are part of a cycle.
Yes, we are.
And you think of that yin and yang, what it looks like, the dark, the night, the day, the night. This is an experience that we're having. And
Mm-hmm.
we have these crazy things in the world. We have these nuclear bombs, right? But yet we have the Choctaw volcano,
Yes, yes.
that can so surpass any nuclear bombs that humans want to
To
threaten each other
create.
with.
Mm-hmm.
So it is spirit that I come to.
Mm.
I go hiking to get in
Yes,
touch with what's important.
yes,
I take cold showers to get in
yes.
touch with what's important. I I swim. I get into the ocean. I lay in the grass. I do things that remind me that I'm alive
Yes,
and that this
yes.
is a cycle,
Mm.
and it's incredible to look
Mm.
back, to be present, to look into the future. This is amazing. And the imminence that exists is something that
Mm.
we are all coping with. The fact that change will come and it will come
Yes,
swiftly.
yes.
And that is God,
Mm.
that is nature, that is the infinite, that is the universe. And guess what? We're here now.
Yes, yes,
And so that's what
yes.
I come back to.
Mm. Being present,
Yeah.
being present to what is, being present to what has been afforded to each and every one of us, and allowing ourselves to surrender. And that surrender to me means absolute trust.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
along this journey, we don't know always what's certain. But what we do know is spirit will lead you and guide you to where you're supposed to go,
Hmm.
right? And I
Hmm.
love that you're saying that. I so totally agree. I so totally agree at that. And I hope that those that have been watching and are watching the replay have been able to sit at this table
Hmm.
and take away not just the hype of owning your own business, but understanding that there are going to be moments where you have to understand and see who you are.
Hmm.
Who are you? What's in your being? Right? And that's what I'm hearing, the lovely Jasmine say in this moment about spirit and being present to that, so that that begins to be an evolving pillar of strength for you,
Hmm.
day by day, month by month,
Hmm.
because we are always growing.
Yes.
Miss Jasmine, I could not have had the absolute best guest to really launch this episode of my life. You are phenomenal. You are brilliant. You are centered. You are humble. You are filled with so much grace and humility. And I just love your spirit. You bring joy to everything that you do. I'm honored that you have allowed me to sit at the table with you today. Thank you for sharing everything in this moment, because there's more. So, listen, those of you that are with us and watching the replay, follow Jasmine on her Instagram and her Facebook. Follow her, and please go to her website and look at all of the beautiful products that she have. Make your purchase. Remember, if you are watching her here today, that you put in hashtag yummy, YUM-ME, and she is going to give you some nice gifts as well with your
Hmm.
purchase, because that's just who she is and that's just what we do. We are in the business, right, of allowing ourselves to give, because when we give, we receive more. And that is what we want to continue to happen when we're in the mastery of contribution. So I just want to thank all of those that have been a part of our live stream today. Join me next month for another phenomenal woman entrepreneur. And we are going to just send blessings to Jasmine, to her family, to all that she has and that she embodies and that she is expanding to do. You were phenomenal. I have had such
Yeah.
an exciting time. Do you have any parting words before we go?
This, you asking me to be here on your premiere show was very special. So thank you. Of course, I'm here. And the way you've walked me through this today, you are an incredible host. Incredible. So thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome, my sister. So, again, everyone, we want to thank you for joining us on the Yummy Cafe, YUM-ME, your unlimited magnificence, me and you together. Until next time, continue to live your life magnified, and I will see you on the other side of magnificence. And until then, take care. And as I always say, smooches and deuces. Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.